think it's 13 million in the year 2045. I think it'll grow between 30 and 60% a year for the next 5 to 10 years. And then I think it's growing 60% a year right now. I think it will decelerate to be growing 20% a year, 21 years out. You're never going to be too late.
Bitcoinzilla stands out with its simplicity and clarity. We've crafted an experience that anyone can dive into, whether you're a crypto expert or just a new to the crypto world. Now guess who keeps his eye on us? The author of best-selling book Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. And we want to take this opportunity and thank all the people who trusted us, and we read every comment. And the best part, it's free. Subscribing now means you will get all new information for free. Don't just follow the trends, stay ahead of them. Subscribe to Bitcoinzilla today and enjoy the new edge. In this video, Michael Saylor will talk about how he turned $600 million into $100 billion with his bold Bitcoin bet. Let's catch him up to know more about his journey, strategy, and what's next.
Bitcoin is on a need-to-know basis. I think the people that discover Bitcoin, they discover it because they need to know about it. And so that need to know comes at different times for different individuals and different corporations in different jurisdictions. If you're living in hyperinflation in Argentina, then you have a need to know. So the Argentinians were some of the early Bitcoin adopters and big Bitcoin advocates. If you live in Nigeria and the currency collapses, or Lebanon and the bank freezes your assets, you're on a need to know. So normally it's people in struggling economies, they get it. And then a company that's well run, that's very successful, doesn't have a need to know. Very affluent on the Upper East Side of New York, don't necessarily have a need to know. They come a bit later. But when my company ran into travails and struggles during the COVID lockdowns of 2020, we had a need to know, and we started looking for a solution. So I would say that people adopt and embrace Bitcoin when they run into some challenge in their personal or professional life that causes them to open their mind and think, I need a new idea. I need to embrace a new way in order to move forward with life.
Bitcoin and Ethereum suffered a major crash over the weekend following U.S. President Donald Trump's surprise tariff announcement. Bitcoin plummeted over 11%, while Ethereum saw an even steeper decline of more than 30%. Other cryptocurrencies, including XRP, Cardano, and Solana, also faced significant losses as fear spread across the market. This sharp downturn erased over $2.21 billion in liquidations within 24 hours, with the majority, about $1.87 billion, coming from long positions. Many traders were caught off guard, betting on a continued crypto rally, only to see their positions wiped out by the sudden market shift. The tariffs, which include a 25% tax on imports from Canada and Mexico and a 10% levy on Chinese goods, have fueled concerns of an escalating trade war. In response, Canada, Mexico, and China have announced retaliatory measures, increasing global economic uncertainty. Historically, Bitcoin has been seen as a hedge against traditional financial markets, but rising geopolitical tensions have introduced a wave of volatility. The market's reaction mirrors past events, such as the COVID-19 crash, where economic instability led to sharp declines in cryptocurrency prices. Bitcoin is now testing critical support at $93,878. A rebound from this level could push the price back toward $106,000. Aligning with Bitcoin's historical tendency to recover after sharp declines. However, if Bitcoin fails to hold this support, a deeper correction could be on the horizon, potentially dragging prices down to the 200-day moving average near $83,026. Market sentiment remains fragile, with investors closely monitoring whether Bitcoin can sustain its range or break lower. Ethereum, meanwhile, is showing signs of resilience, bouncing from its key support at $2,150. If it successfully closes above $2,609, Ethereum could target the next resistance level at $2,692. However, failure to hold above support could lead to further declines, with prices potentially dropping to $2,000 or lower. Traders remain cautious as the market digests the impact of Trump's tariffs and the possibility of further economic turbulence.
in March of 2020 during the COVID panic and the lockdowns. The economy came to a grinding halt. Everybody went home. We had the 15 days to stop the spread. There was a lot of anxiety in the economy. And then we saw interest rates get taken to zero. And it's almost like the economy just stopped. I mean, traffic stopped, cruise ships stopped, airplanes stopped, restaurants closed, hotels closed. Interest rates went to zero. And I was sitting in front of my pool in Miami Beach, and it was just dead calm. But I was watching CNBC, and in CNBC, at some point, it became clear that that if you actually were in Wall Street or you owned a bunch of financial assets, you're probably going to be okay. But if you're on Main Street and you're trying to actually do things like run a restaurant or a yoga salon, you were going to have a bad year. And so at that point, I said, well, I have all this cash and it's worthless, like zero interest rates. And the central banker said, we're not even thinking about raising interest rates for 4 years. So you have a non-performing asset. And then I looked at the government basically printing money. I thought if we shut down the economy for 2 years, that's going to cost a lot of money. And that's going to get printed. And so I saw hyperinflation, coming at the end of those lockdowns. And I noticed my money was a melting ice cube. And I thought, well, I need to do something with the money before it becomes worth 40% less. And that's the point where I said to a friend of mine, so tell me about that Bitcoin thing again.
So to be clear, that's an interesting story, because I feel like the number one reason people don't get into crypto or anything is they think they're too late. But what you're saying is really you only had the aha moment 4 years ago.
I think when I was thinking about it, it was 4,000 or 5,000 a coin for Bitcoin. And when we started buying it in size, it was in the mid 9,000s and 10,000, 11,000. And it's 10x since then. But to be clear, the brilliant idea of Bitcoin is digital property. It's Cyber Manhattan. I've created a city in cyberspace that's 276 blocks wide, 276 blocks high, 276 blocks deep. You're buying 1/21 millionth of all the money that there's ever going to be in cyberspace. And one day, the 8 billion people are going to want to put some of their money there. And it's the most simple idea imaginable. Do you want to buy 1/21 millionth of all the money in the world for all of eternity? Like the product's going to be the same in 100 years, 500 years, 1,000 years. So think of it like, buying Manhattan in 1750 and you're 100 years late. And someone goes, you're 100 years late. The guy that's selling you the building paid less than you're going to pay. Aren't you afraid you're overpaying? And it's like, well, I'm going to dump it to a guy in 1770 for more. And that's stupid, because you should buy it every year from 1650 to today. And it's the greatest city in America. So why wouldn't you want to own 67 blocks of Manhattan? Just like why wouldn't you own 67 blocks of Bitcoin? So you're never going to be too late if you understand that the future digital economy is going to be built on top of 21 million blocks of Bitcoin.
Bitcoin's dominance in the cryptocurrency market has surged to nearly 62%, marking its highest level since February 2021. As altcoins continue to struggle, traders are closely monitoring Bitcoin's movements, particularly around the $100 and $2,000 CMB gap, a crucial level that could indicate a potential price reversal. This surge in dominance reflects investors' increasing preference for Bitcoin over alternative cryptocurrencies amid uncertain market conditions. The broader crypto market has been rattled by economic concerns, especially following President Trump's recent tariff policies targeting Mexico, Canada, and China. These geopolitical tensions have fueled fears of a global economic slowdown, leading investors to seek stability in Bitcoin. Altcoins have taken a significant hit, with many recording double-digit losses as capital flows back into BTC. One striking development is the resurgence of Bitcoin's kimchi premium, the price gap between BTC in South Korea and global markets, which now stands at 12%, its highest level in 3 years. This suggests a strong demand for Bitcoin in South Korea, even as the market remains volatile. The trend mirrors previous cycles where Bitcoin's dominance surged before altcoin recoveries, raising speculation about a potential altcoin season in the coming months. Market analysts are also closely watching the CME gap at $102,436. Historically, Bitcoin tends to fill these gaps when the CME futures market reopens, making it a key level of interest for traders looking for price corrections or reversals. If BTC successfully closes the gap and holds above it, confidence in the market could improve, potentially signaling the start of another bullish phase. However, if volatility persists, Bitcoin's dominance could continue climbing as investors remain cautious about altcoin performance. If you've been with us so far, a big thank you. Don't forget to subscribe for free to Bitcoin Zella for your daily news. The link is waiting below. That's all for today's crypto news. Stick around for more updates, insights, and analysis on cryptocurrencies. Share your thoughts in the comments, like this video, and subscribe for more exciting content.